Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching YouTube News. Here's some news. So let's look at our three main headlines for today's show. Deji and KSI are back fighting, this time getting even more personal. The Last of Us 2 could be announced with a trailer as early as the end of this week. And in our brand new section, we've got plenty of football to talk about with transfers and the Europa and Champions League final. So let's jump straight into our first headline for today, being that KSI and Deji, the Olatunji brothers, are back at it again. So this isn't the first time that this has happened. The first time was back in November of 2018 when Deji couldn't seem to take a joke made by Randolph in the Sidemen Family Fortunes video, where he basically called him irrelevant. He then made a series of videos talking about how KSI let him down before and after releasing his bank statements to try and make a dig at Randolph during one of his diss tracks. He went on to say that KSI paid for Randolph's wedding, even though it was only £4,000 and it was the day before his wedding. Now, a bunch of different sources came out and said in a bunch of different videos that this wasn't true, it was just a wedding gift. £4,000 as a wedding gift. It's a good friend. Now, if we fast forward to Christmas Day, the drama is kind of dead up to this point. They've had their little say during November and the entirety of December, nothing really happened. A few memes were flying about here and there, but nothing overly worth talking about. However, Christmas Day was the day where they decided to have a meetup. They're all going to have dinner together until Twitter hit. Twitter kind of went off the handle at this point. They started tweeting a bunch of different things, just getting into each other's heads, and yeah, Christmas was kind of ruined for them. But there was hope. Early January, Deji went and deleted the diss track. That's what we thought anyway. So they all moved on and they started making videos again together. And this is where we are at. It's happening again. Deji made his diss track public again, which means he didn't delete it, he made it private. It's now public again for everybody to go and see. KSI sees this, tweets out, "I hope you never reach 10 million subscribers. You have shown your true colours. I don't want you in my life." And now, just 4 days ago, on the 25th of May, Deji released a video called Bye. In this video, he talks about how in the videos from way back in 2012/2013, where they used to record together, he was very, very uncomfortable, and how every single video with KSI needed to include pain in some sort. There always had to be something that the loser would have to do, always a punishment, whether it was whipping, shooting with a BB gun, punching, slapping, anything that included pain always seemed to reoccur. Now, this video has actually got a really positive response, with 530,000 likes to just 48,000 dislikes, and he's actually gaining subscribers again, 250,000 in 4 days, whereas KSI is actually losing them. So on his main channel, KSI has lost 70,000 subscribers in 4 days, and on his second, it's not quite as bad, it's about 50,000 subscribers in the last 4 days. Now, we are actually still waiting for a response from KSI. He put on Twitter that he is going to reply to it, but he's currently on a music tour around Europe. It will be interesting to see what he has to say, and when he does reply, I will keep you guys in the loop. So, with that all being wrapped up, let's jump on to the next headline. So there's been a rumour that has surfaced claiming that The Last of Us Part 2 could receive a trailer and a release date very soon. Maybe as soon as the end of this week. So E3 is coming up very soon, from the 11th of June to the 14th of June. So it kind of creates an argument for both sides as to why this could be true and it could be false. So it kind of makes sense as to why you would reveal the release date and then wait for a trailer for E3. However, surely if you were going to wait for a trailer for E3, you would also just wait to reveal the entire game. So people have found a pattern between when games have been announced and then when games have been released. So for example, God of War was announced in December 2017 and was then released in April 2018. Spider-Man was announced in April 2018 and was then released in September 2018. Just 5 months in between all of the dates, from announced to released. It's now May and they are talking about releasing this game in October. Just 5 months. It kind of makes sense. Okay, on to the third and final story, football. So let's start with the transfer news. The biggest one for me personally is that Hazard could end up going to Real Madrid for £115 million. Reason this is big, I'm a Chelsea fan. We're banned for transfers for the next 2 transfer windows. There are so many different stories from different news outlets saying 2 different things. One being that he is going, there is a deal that has been agreed. The other saying that he's still not 100% sure on his future. Hazard himself has come out and said it would be the perfect send-off to win the Europa League and then go. He's still not sure though. Although once again it could just be a little decoy so that people still love him for the Europa League final, and then he comes out after and says, okay, I'm going. In other Chelsea news, Sarri, our current manager, has been offered a managerial job at Juventus, replacing the current manager Allegri, and in return this has sparked some interesting candidates for our next manager, such as John Terry and the current Derby County manager Frank Lampard. Not that I think that either of those are going to come off. It would be interesting though. Frank, of course, just missing out on a Premier League promotion after losing in the final stage to Aston Villa 2-1. Of course, he still has a year left on his contract, and I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon. In other news, speculation around Griezmann going to Barcelona as the same as every other year. It probably will happen this year, and Madrid are looking for another striker. And could Barca also be looking to bring Neymar back? It could potentially be happening. There's plenty of news being surrounded by Pogba going to Real Madrid. It looks like that could be a solid move, although he will be taking a massive pay cut. And for our last transfer news for the day, Sergio Ramos, current centre-back for Real Madrid, has requested to go to a club in China on a free. And for the last section for today's show, we're going to be doing a prediction on the Europa League final and the Champions League final. So, the Europa League final is Chelsea against Arsenal. It's not really that much of a big deal for Chelsea, apart from the fact that it is another trophy. Whether we win or lose, Arsenal are getting a Champions League spot anyway because we finished third and Arsenal did not. Obviously, the winners of the Europa League get a spot in the Champions League. However, because we're third, we've got the spot anyway, so it goes to the loser of the Europa League, which will be Arsenal. So whether they win it, they get a Champions League spot. If they lose it, we get it, we don't need it, Arsenal get a Champions League spot. So it is just a trophy. So I start to wonder whether they want it more than us, because if they don't get Champions League next year either, they're not in a good spot. They're not in a good spot. Especially with the Champions League final being Spurs. If Spurs win a Champions League final before Arsenal do, oh, it's game over. It's game over for them. For the whole rivalry, it's game over. So my prediction for the Europa League final, I think it will be a close game. I'm going to say 2-1 Chelsea. If we win a cup, I'm very happy, and I honestly do believe that Hazard will leave the club. Now for the Champions League predictions, I see Liverpool winning it. Spurs are an amazing club, considering that they haven't bought any more players in, and what they've done is absolutely ridiculous. I just don't think they're going to be able to grasp it and win the game. It would be such an upset for Arsenal if they did. It would be such an upset for Premier League history. We are the last English team to win it, Chelsea, in the 2012 Cup. We beat Bayern Munich on penalties, Drogba taking his final kick for his first stint at Chelsea. What a game that was. But if Spurs win this game, it's going to be nuts. Literally, Arsenal are going to be irrelevant. They're going to be the irrelevant rival. They can't say anything. Spurs haven't won anything in, I think, 12 years. They haven't won any trophy in like 12 years. And Arsenal fans are way on top. They haven't won much in the last few years, but they've won something, you know. So no matter what Spurs fans say at the moment, it's always, oh, well, we've won more cups. You haven't won anything in the last 12 years. If they win the Champions League, that's out the window because they're the best team in the world for a year. That's literally out of the window. So if they win it, it's nuts. I think Liverpool 2-0. Literally, the determination and just the effort that Liverpool put in against Barcelona was out of this world in the semis. It was absolutely nuts. I just think Liverpool have got it. Jurgen Klopp is an insanely good manager. Not to say Pochettino isn't, but Klopp's got this. And so that leaves us to the end of this show. That is all we have time for today. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did enjoy the little football section, then please let me know in the comments. I'll be sure to include that in the next episode of YouTubers News. But for now, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, an amazing rest of the week, and I'll see you in the next one. Good night. Here's some fucking news.